first and foremost, I want to say thank you. I do see that I have a few new subscribers, so welcome to the fam. And what better way to get to know me than with an update video. So in this video, I will be updating you guys on what has been happening in my life over the past 2 weeks. It has been a lot. So, and one of the reasons why I've been gone for 2 weeks and not really posting anything on my Instagram page, Facebook, YouTube, none of that. So this will be like the very first thing I'll be posting up since then. So there are 3 parts that I want to cover on this video, which includes moving / selling my house. So I feel like one of the biggest issues with me is trying to be as transparent as possible and just being authentic. And one of my favorite things about people watching YouTube and people on YouTube is how they are relatable. And I realize you can't really be relatable if you're not transparent. So how about I start from the beginning? So in one of my videos, I had explained that I had quit my job a while ago, June of 2019. At that time, I was really trying to seek purpose and fulfillment out of my life, and I felt like that really wasn't the direction I wanted to be heading towards. And it's one of the reasons why I went back to school to get my bachelor's and master's degree. So I stayed there up until I felt like God had led me to go ahead and quit my job. If you haven't seen the video, I'll post the thumbnail here, and I'll leave a link in the bio so you guys can watch. So I did that, and I was basically living off of my savings. During that time period, I was really focused on my graduate's degree and doing my own personal ministry, which included YouTube, blogging, and posting and such. So I was doing that. Around March is when I really started to get worried because, you know, money does not last forever. So I'm trying to find a job around March, right? And that's when the whole coronavirus situation started to really hit and people were getting fired while I'm over here looking for a job. And I'm graduating from school in May, and my classes finish in April 26th. Today is April 28th, so I'm done with classes. And I was really trying to find a career that's more so focused with my degree, which is healthcare administration, which is what I got my master's degree in now. But then coronavirus hit, and I laugh out of nervousness. I'm not laughing because I don't think the situation is not serious. It's like a nervous tendency is to laugh, just try to make light of the situation. But anyways, let's backtrack to the financial situation. So basically, I feel like all the videos that I've made recently, especially about David and trying to trust God in difficult situations, were all leading up to this point. And it's funny how that kind of works. I feel like a lot of the videos, I know it's to help others, but I feel like they also apply to my situation as well. And it's funny how that kind of works. But I'm going to tell you 2 incidents that happened. So I know that in this season, before all this happened, I know that God was really calling me to trust him. And he's shown me that physically and spiritually. And it's easier said than done, really. But I'll describe to you 2 incidences. So I don't know what happened that day particularly, but as I'm waking up, I don't know if I'm waking up from a nap, probably because it was still daytime when I woke up. I woke up and I can see like this vision of 2 circles, one circle and then a bigger circle that was around the smaller circle. And on top of the circle was the word trust. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But I knew it was God giving me this vision to reaffirm that he wants me to trust him. I have to look at this Bible-based dictionary, prophetic symbols. I get a lot of dreams and I don't know how to quite interpret that. I'm still working on that. So according to this book, a circle is something endless signifies agreement or covenant. Something in circles may indicate something that will seemingly continue without end. And then the verse example he puts is Isaiah 40:22, which says, He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and his people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. I don't know, when I think of a circle, I think of something that's infinite, but what I got from that obviously was the word that I saw above the circle, which was trust. And then another incident that happened while I was getting ready for church one Sunday, back when we were able to gather physically. I was putting on my makeup and I was sitting in front of my Bluetooth mirror, which I'm about to show you. It looks like this. Excuse the makeup stains on here. So it's a Bluetooth mirror, it has button, it connects to your phone, which I'm recording on right now. I'm putting on my makeup and I'm thinking in my head, I'm not even saying this out loud, but I'm thinking in my head how most people do not make a living out of something that they're really passionate about. It's something to me that's really rare to be able to make money from something that you truly are passionate about, something that you enjoy doing out of life. And that's truly something that I want, something that I've been struggling with. Reason why I quit my job in the first place and started this whole thing was because I really want to do something that I'm passionate about, but of course the issue is always going to be about money. I mean, a lot of people are able to do that and overcome those struggles and are able to be successful and do what they love to do best, but that is a struggle for many of us, especially for myself. And as I'm thinking this thought, this mirror turns on by itself and my phone is on my desk behind me and my vanity is right here. The mirror turns on by itself and starts playing this song. Mind you, you would have to select the song from your phone in order for it to play through the Bluetooth. The song is called Fly Like a Bird by Mariah Carey. And I love this song. This song has ministered to me. And the song starts, after I finish thinking this thought, all of a sudden it starts playing on my mirror. And I'm just like, how is this happening when the mirror wasn't even turned on and my phone is behind me? And this is how the song goes. I'll just play a little snippet. I can only play 30 seconds of the song, but the song is about trusting God, basically, even when your world is seemingly falling apart. And I knew it was God that enabled the song to be able to play through the Bluetooth. Because I'm like, how did this happen? I didn't even turn it on and my phone is back here. How would I be able to select the song, which song to play? So I know that I'm in a season of trust. This is what's basically happening. Due to financial constraints, we are moving back into my mother-in-law's house. Mainly on my end, of course, because I'm not working. And it kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't something I was anticipating to happen so soon, especially with everything else going on at once. And what's also funny is that this was something that me and my husband talked about prior for us to do eventually, but not so soon, because eventually we want to move to Texas. Me, my mother-in-law, my husband, and my son, we all want to go to Texas. And the houses there are just amazing and they're way cheaper than what you can find here on the East Coast. So, and they're huge for the price that you're paying for it. So that was the plan. This was the plan anyways. It just kind of quickened because of what's happening right now. And I was just like, I guess I was expecting something else from God. I wasn't really expecting to having to sell my house so soon. I don't know. I was expecting something else. Maybe he'll maintain me financially. Maybe somehow I can find a job before all this. Like I said, I've been applying in March, but right now I'm like really applying for a job, and it's hard because nobody is really working. But this situation, I feel like it really depends on your perspective, because I do work in the healthcare field, so that is essential. So maybe I'll be able to find an opportunity in the midst of all this. I don't know. Yeah, we are in the process of moving and selling the house, and I don't know, it's kind of sad because this was my first house and I really did like it, but we are running out of space, and it's only the three of us. But this process has made me appreciate simplicity. And you really don't know what's in your house until you start going through the stuff and realizing all the unnecessary junk that you buy and just store. So I'm really appreciating, just simplifying stuff and only buying stuff that I actually really need and use on a consistent basis. And then on top of that, like I said, I'm due for graduation in May, but the physical graduation portion has been canceled, understandably. So they have resorted to an online type of graduation. And it's funny because me and my husband were like, we're not going. We wasn't gonna go in the first place, because when I graduated with my bachelor's, that took like hours, and I was just like, for my master's, I don't know if I want to attend graduation physically. And lo and behold, they canceled it physically anyways. So they're gonna do an online graduation, which is fine by me. It is what it is. So it was that, on top of the last 2 weeks of school was really intense, because that's when all the projects are due. So we had like papers due, presentations due, on top of your other discussions. And I go to an online university anyways, so it's kind of funny how everything kind of transitioned online, and I've been doing that for the past 5 years, and then the last year of school is when everybody's going online now. So I find it kind of interesting how everything is just happening, and I don't know, it's weird. Yeah.
About to go.
Okay.
Oh, you still mad?
No, I was mad at you. You was mad at me.
You was mad at me.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So the last 2 weeks of school was just like intense, as it should be, but it was like on top of everything else that was happening. And I'm not even gonna lie, I spent the last 2 weeks really angry at God and upset, because I was like, before even all this happened, he was like, I was showing you examples, informing me to trust him. I'm like, okay, cool. Knowing, I don't have a job as of yet, and money's getting tight and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. And then boom, all this happens at once. And then it's like, what I am really anxious about is trying to sell a house in a coronavirus economy. I mean, people are laid off from work. I don't know if people are searching for houses right now. So it's going to be kind of like weird. And I don't much so care about the house as much as I am stressed about trying to find a job, like also in a coronavirus economy. And something that I've looked up that I really like when I read is the job description of a health coach. Basically, somebody that helps people manage chronic diseases, which is, I'm really into like the preventive side of healthcare. I used to be a pharmacy technician, so dispensing medication. It just really makes me look at things like, okay, I don't have anything against medication, of course, but I really want to help people come off medication and not be so dependent on it, and help them actually manage the root causes of their disease rather than trying to fix symptoms all the time. So I'm really looking to the preventative route, and, looking towards the mental aspect of health, such as looking into like, why are you overeating? Are you stressed? Are you dealing with emotional pain? Or are you trying to fill a void stuff like that. But at this point, I'm also looking into going back to being a pharmacy technician, like just something to kind of hold me over. But I know eventually I would have to look for more an advancement, especially, obtaining a master's degree. I know that there's going to be student loans eventually I would have to pay, and no offense, but being a pharmacy technician is not going to really cut it at this point. So I know that's another issue, and it's just like, I don't know, like my idea of trust wasn't this, but my ways are not his ways, his thoughts are not my thoughts. So I might think, oh yeah, you're gonna do this, and that doesn't happen. I'm just like, oh, I thought you were gonna do, but I don't know. So like I said, I spent the last couple of weeks angry and bitter. Another thing was that I had donated a significant amount of money while I was not working to my church, and this was something that God has asked me to do, and I know for sure because I was very reluctant to do it in the first place, but I was getting confirmation over and over again, and from past experiences, I know that was something He wanted me to do as well. So I have no doubt that that's something He wanted me to do, but I just felt like I did all this. I was obedient to you. I read my word every day. I fasted, I prayed, I gave money. I quit my job when you told me to try to find, my purpose, and, started the ministry, started, online ministry. I did all this just to it felt like to end up like this. I was really upset. So I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna be as transparent as possible. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my word. I was stressed. And I know I could tell when I'm stressed when I'm not doing things I know I should be doing, such as eating healthy, minding my water intake, exercising. Well, that went out the window because of school. But usually, if I'm not busy with schoolwork, I'll wake up and exercise in the morning. I wasn't doing none of that. And I knew I was declining because I started breaking out. I was crying. It was just a lot. And it's because everything is happening all at once, and I don't quite understand what is God's purpose in this, and why are things happening this way. Drinking coffee every day. Normally I skip every other day, but this time I was drinking every day. It's just really craving sugar, knowing that I have to limit my sugar intake. I just feel like I was really going back to square one, and all the hopes and dreams were out the window, and just spending a lot of time on my hours on my phone when I know I should be limiting screen time. And it was just, if you haven't noticed, my blog is down at the moment. It does cost money to host a website every month, and I wasn't getting any income from that, so I did cancel it momentarily until perhaps when I find a job to be able to fund it. I'll put it back up again, but at the moment there will not be any blog posts. So that's what's been going on in my life, and this is just an honest as possible video. And yeah, I feel like I said, all the videos prior with, trusting God, I feel like they were leading up to this moment. Which is kind of funny. But in spite of this, I do have a gratitude list, and I do realize I am not the only person going through struggles in life. And it's interesting to see the days that we're living in now. A lot of people are going through the same struggles as I am, but for different reasons. So my gratitude list is, the first one is loan deferments. We're able to defer loans, such as mortgage or car loans. So I am grateful for that. Stimulus check. Technically we are getting money. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, just to help them get by. I read posts where people are struggling to, feed their families, and throughout this situation, I am still grateful that I have a place to lay my head and food to eat. So I can get angry all I want, but I always try to find some way to be grateful because I know things can be worse. And I always get stuck between trying to be grateful and yet I'm still angry. And then I feel even worse for being angry in the first place. I don't, it's weird. The next is my husband. He did really show me grace in the situation, even though he didn't really have to. So I am grateful for that. And my sister had mentioned this is really a testament to your marriage, because he did not agree with a lot of decisions that I had made. My family is doing well physically. That's a cat. My family is doing well physically. Coronavirus is still on the rise, and I am very fortunate to say that we're doing well. I know people that have contracted it that are looking at the prognosis of death. So, I do have this gratitude for my health and the health of my family, because this is real and people are literally dying every day because of this. And I look every day at the that website that updates the numbers, hoping that somehow the rate is declining, but it keeps rising. And I don't know, I just hope this all ends soon, to be honest, but God knows the right timing for all this to end. So next on the list is being able to save money. So all of us could look forward to that. Moving together in this household, expenses should be cheaper, dividing it amongst ourselves instead of having two mortgages. It'll just be one. So that's a good thing. Having a master's degree, that will lead to a better job potential. So I am grateful. In my immediate family, I am the first person to have a master's degree. So I am happy for that achievement. And a mess in this video. The reason I'm tearing up now is because I'm just thinking about my mother. And I know she would be happy. She did pass away last May. And I just seen her struggle a lot with being a housekeeper. Probably only getting paid up to, I wouldn't say no more than $15 an hour. And I quite think it's less than that, probably like 11. And just when she heard I was going back to school, she was really happy. Because she really did not want me to struggle like she did. I'm all over the place. I apologize. And this is why I have trouble with being vulnerable, because I can just get so emotional just thinking about things. This is a part of who I am, so I shouldn't try to hide it 24/7. But yeah, next on the list is the friend circle that God has really placed in my life. I remember people would ask me, do you even have any friends? Like, I'm really like an isolator. I am not very popular. I don't have many friends. And just seeing how God has placed people in my life, people who I've already known from the past and new people as well, it's really amazing. And they are really a source of encouragement. They share their stories. And they help me realize that I'm not alone on this journey and on this path. And, I am really grateful for that. And I'm also collaborating with one of my favorite YouTubers, Tracy Morgan J. She has also played a part in this journey. I mentioned her in one of my videos when I quit my job. And the fact that she asked me to collaborate with her is amazing. So, yeah, that's my gratitude list. I'm sorry I cried through most of it. But yeah, that's what's going on in my life at the moment. So we're moving, selling the house. I am trying to find a job. I'm graduating. So I was reading this book last night that I found on my mother-in-law's desk. And this was to my husband from his grandmother. So I was reading a chapter called Grief and Experience in Learning and Leaning. And the person who wrote this, the author of this section, talked about how her father passed away, and she was really angry and bitter with God. And she wrote something that said, I began reading the Psalms because David had many of the same doubts I had. He could tell God exactly how he was feeling, get it out his system, and turn around and praise God. I've learned that that is the answer to getting rid of bitterness and finding healing. And the result is an intimacy with God that I have never had before. So that really spoke to me, and I realized, you know what, Monique? Either you're gonna just quit and forget about all this, or you're gonna keep moving forward. And I decided to keep moving forward. There's no point of spending the majority of your day bitter, anxious, angry about a situation, thinking up of a million ways in which you should have done this, that, or third. The point is to let God know how you feel, even if you're angry with him, even if you have bitterness in your heart, just to let him know how you feel. Even if you don't understand what he's doing or why he's allowed this to happen or what you thought should have happened, and just to keep going. Because if you don't, then you'll never make it to what God has in store for you. If you just stop and quit now and just say, no, this is getting too hard, I'm gonna just go back to what's comfortable for me, you'll never be able to reap the harvest that you were intended to reap. And this is part of it. There's a season for everything. People who are looking from the outside looking in, ever since I started this whole journey with God, which has been fairly recent, only started like less than a year and a half ago, I lost my mother. I've lost a close family member on my husband's side. I've let go of a job. I've lost, not necessarily lost, but lost money, a house. And I realized I don't own any of these things. I don't own my mother. I don't own any other family member. I don't own money. I don't own my house. I don't own anything on this earth. None of it really belonged to me in the first place. You know, so when things get taken away, it wasn't really mine to begin with. So from the outside looking in, people would be like, something's seriously wrong with your situation. And maybe you should stop now. Because it's not working out. But I think, and it has been confirmed through other people, that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment in life. My obedience have led me to this point. So I know that this is going to work out. I don't know how, and I'll be sure to update you guys when it happens. We will see what God has in store. All right. So that's it for me. I hope to get my life together and stop stressing out and post regularly. And I thank you guys who are still rocking with me, who have been subscribed. And to my new subscribers, I'm kind of shocked that people were still subscribing to me and I wasn't even posting, and they were subscribing while I wasn't posting. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's it, you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.